the angle of the hill that we're sitting on the deck, but over there it's not. That's what happened. It had nothing to do with the beer.
You ain't got to explain yourself to them, man.
Well, I feel compelled to, though.
You ain't got to explain yourself to them.
I do feel compelled.
We live on YouTube. Say hello.
Finally, YouTube. Dimeback
TV.
The mothership. Yes.
All right.
Without Dimeback TV, a lot of this would not be possible. All right.
All right. Welcome to the Other Morning Show. I'm Dimeback Doily.
I'm True Powers Mine.
And today is May 4th, 2018.
The year of our Lord. The year of our Lord.
And we have first of all, before we get started, we got a very special guest. The month is May, Memorial's Day in May. So we're going to try to have as many veterans on as we possibly can.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank all the new subscribers, all the people that's been supporting the Other Morning Show and Dimeback TV and True Powers Minds and CI, all of the people that have been supporting us since we first started doing our thing. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you to the people that send in contributions and other stuff to help make this a better program. The title might say show, but it's a program, so you can get some valuable information, because we can't only give you random bullshit. We got to bring on other guests to give you random bullshit.
And that being said, I want to thank both my grandfathers, both were World War II veterans. I want to thank my father, who is a Korean War veteran. I want to thank one of my older brothers, who is a Vietnam veteran. Thank you, gentlemen, for your services. That would be Mason Weaver and Waverly Weaver. My dad's Waverly and my brother's Mason. So, you know, I really do have a lot of respect and admiration for every man, woman that has served in our great military. You know, a lot of people talk shit about our military, but they're not the military, they are the armed forces, because we all know the military term was brought up during World War II to kind of give the armed forces a bad rep. But you know, don't forget, these men and women actually put their butts on the line when it's really when the rubber hits the road. So, you know, I give them the utmost of respect. So are we prepared for the bio?
Yeah, we got it.
Introduce our guest, sir.
Today's guest, you got to get it back to that. We have a retired U.S.
Yeah, it's right here. It's right here. Just turn it to where you can see it. Turn it. There you go.
Okay. No, it's not doing anything. Yeah.
Man, I don't know what you hit.
I ain't hit nothing.
You hit something. Yeah, you hit something. There it is. It's right there. Don't touch none of that. Don't.
I'm not.
There you go.
All right. And we got a very special guest today on the line. Donald W. Don Shipley is a retired U.S. Navy SEAL. Following his retirement, he gained recognition for publicly outing false claims of military service.
Yes, sir.
He served in the Navy from 1978 to 2003. He was a senior chief petty officer. He was with SEAL Team 1 and 2, and he earned Navy and Marine Corps medals.
Yes, sir.
Don Shipley, are you there?
Senior Chief Don Shipley.
Okay, thank you for
I am, fellas.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for taking out the time to join the show.
Yes. So we can go right on this. Share us that lobster story, brother.
Oh, I heard you guys talking about lobsters. My last combat swimmer course I did as a SEAL, and combat swimmer is diving. You're attacking ships. But we did it up in Rhode Island, and we were diving day and night. Very cold. But you mentioned lobsters, and in between dives, that's how hard I was. I don't wreck dive. I don't do recreation diving. But if there's something to eat down there, I'm going down and get it. And I hooked up with a German.
That's his cell.
At the teams, and I was taking these lobsters and putting them in these big metal cans and sinking them off the dock for the entire cruise. And when we left, we drove home.
Your phone's breaking up.
Yeah, that phone. Hold on, man. Bust out your other phone. Let's call him on one of your phones, because I think there might be something on this.
It sound like it's coming from his end.
Because the phone is totally broke up. Bust out one of your phones.
I don't have it on me.
See,
Yep.
hold on. Don, can you hear me? Oh, this is.
Yeah.
All right. Something. I think something's wrong on this end. I'm gonna try calling you back on one of our crew members' cell phone here, real quick, and we're gonna get you right back on the line.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's kill this piece of shit.
I'm telling you, it was on. It sounded like it was on his
try.
end. It sounded like he was on the cell
Number,
phone.
and you can push this in right there.
It sounded like he was moving around on the cell phone.
Cobra Immortal off to the side, folks. You don't see him, but he is here. You know, check out his new album. Check him out on
He felt bad
iTunes.
for us because we ain't have no assistant.
Is it like?
Tell him the number, let him dial it
He
in.
got the number right there.
Okay. How's that?
All right. Hold on. How come it's not going?
Because you got it Bluetooth to that.
No, it's not Bluetooth to this. It's hooked to the hard wire. Is there any way to make it go through the big speaker up there?
It should automatically do that because it's plugged in.
Let's see. Is it all right?
Yeah, it's hold on. I can't hear him. It's not this speaker
Or you might. Okay, wait a minute.
there.
Okay.
Now, can you hear me, Don?
Yes, I can hear you well.
See, he can hear me well, but we're not going through the big speaker. We might have to Bluetooth it to it. It's
Okay, try it now.
Hello, can you hear me now? No, you just muted something.
Okay. He's on. Yeah.
All right, so he's just on the speaker on just the phone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can we Bluetooth it to the big box right here?
Yeah.
All right, take this out. Or yeah, all right. I'm gonna open up your Bluetooth. I'm sorry, folks. You know, once again, this is the other morning show, and it wouldn't be the other morning show without some issues.
Yeah.
You
Is
know,
it the mini? Which one is it?
it is. Retry it. Try it again. Search for new devices. Because that is not. Hold on.
It should have the name on the thing.
It's not coming up. It's as if you don't see it. Let's try this one. That sounds like that might hit. Can you hear me now, Don?
I can.
See, he can hear it, but it's not coming through the speaker, so we can't get it.
Just link it, just connect it to there.
It's just not that simple, man.
It is. You just hit the link that's when you Bluetooth it, it'll tell you the device name. Hit the scan button. It'll pop up.
No nearby devices were found. Oh, shit.
It's my phone, so
Oh, my God.
you guys will get it.
Oh, we always do.
Yeah. About an hour later.
Watch out.
I got this, man.
No, I'm going to have to try the tablet. Oh, shit.
No, just don't.
I'm going to try a tablet again.
Just don't.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, bro.
No, it should be like SM. This is just crazy, man. Hate this damn tablet. God, I hate it. You got the. Here. Here's the number, dude. Here you. Hey, Don, we're gonna call you yet on another cell phone, and hopefully this one will be the golden ticket. We'll be right back. You can hang up on that one.
Something's hooked up to that, dude.
Huh?
Something's hooked up to that. What do you have Bluetooth to that?
I have nothing Bluetooth to it. Nothing should be. Hold on, folks. Don't stop the kids or bus. They da 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 da. Yeah, nothing's Bluetooth to it, man. We want to hard connect it anyways. We're gonna hard connect it with the beat cord. The thing is, if this is hooked to the Wi-Fi and so much shit's on the Wi-Fi, it's just fucking
It
up.
ain't the Wi-Fi, dude. It's not. It's not. That reception was on his end. It's
Okay.
not nothing to do with that.
Okay.
You can
It's just
tell
calm.
by the sound of the call. God, this is not. I don't like this.
Well, no one does. I'm not too keen of it. We can't have a show if you can't hear the guests.
That was on his end, dude. He's on like at a lake or some shit on a cell phone.
Where's he live?
I'm not for sure. Say, we're still live on YouTube.
Yeah, we're live. And we've lost a bunch of viewers too.
I don't even hear it coming through here.
It's on there.
Okay, how's that?
Yes, perfect. Now we're back in business, as they say.
All right, sorry, folks.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Ugh. Now back to the room and row. All right. Would you please tell us the lobster story, because you was breaking in and out. It was really gargled.
I heard you talking about lobster, and my final combat swimmer course is a SEAL. Combat swimming is diving and packing ships. And we were doing it day and night for 3 weeks in Rhode Island. And in between those dives, I was going down with some crazy German we had with us. Now, their version of SEALs are called comp swimmers. And he was attached to us, and we would wreck dive for lobster in between dives. And I was taking these huge metal boxes that we carried gear in and dumping lobster in, and I'd throw them off of the pier. And at the end of that 3 weeks, I loaded all those lobsters up in these 3 big metal containers. And we drove home from Rhode Island. I got on the phone and I called everybody I knew and said, get your ass down here right now. And you have to do that once in your life. There's things you have to do once in your life. And one is throw a party where people push lobster away. I can't eat another lobster, man. Take them away. So, yeah. Once in your life, you do that.
You know, can we go into your early childhood? You know, what was your motivation for going into the military? I mean, I do know that you have a brother who's a Ranger, and you also have a brother who's a Marine. So, I mean, what was it about you that you decided to go down to that MEP station and take that oath of enlistment?
The judge had a lot to say about it.
The judge?
Yeah. I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't going anywhere in school. I was easily distracted. I wasn't making good grades. I was just staring out the window. My dad was a fighter pilot, and we grew up on a big farm near Pittsburgh. And honestly, if he hadn't have sold that farm, I'd probably still be there. Probably never spent a single day in the Navy, but we moved to the Eastern Shore of Maryland. He was a commercial airline pilot, and I didn't fit in too well. I'm sitting right here on the Eastern Shore, 15 miles. I live here now from where I joined the Navy, if that tells you anything. But I knew there was a big world out there, and I wanted to see it. I got into some slight mischief, you know. And, it was kind of recommended. Maybe you want to be looking at something else to do. So I quit school, joined the Navy at 17. My parents reluctantly signed the papers, and got my education in the military and sailed the 7 seas and never looked back.
Fucking awesome, dude. Fucking awesome.
So what made you want to start exposing people going around falsifying, claiming that they're military personnel?
A lot of reasons, but perhaps the biggest one, the one that really pushed me over the edge, was I got on the internet. The guy was actually a Marine. He embellished and lied about his career. And he gifted us some very expensive weapons for the training course I was running, Extreme SIL Experiment. And I come to find out that guy was just completely full of it.
Mm-hmm.
He had lied. He had access to my computer. My wife caught him folding her underwear and my daughter's underwear in our house. And he just told these outrageous stories. We labeled him a hero in front of these kids because he'd been shot down in Panama and stitched through the belly with a machine gun, and his head was crushed in the crash. And you know, just these terrible stories. And come to find out, he was in the embassy in Kenya, Africa, for a couple of years as a Marine. And there's much more to it. But ultimately, he was frauding the VA for just tens and tens of thousands of dollars for monies he never should have had, and I got him sent to jail.
Right on.
Uh, that's really, it inflamed me for a lot of different reasons, the stuff that he did down there. And that and going to a lot of memorials for the SEALs that had been killed, like lots and lots of them, and that just the stealing of valor. You know, if you didn't do it, then you didn't do it.
Right. Right. And a lot of these clowns go out and they'll throw on these fake suits, try to get free drinks, try to get girls, and, you know, heaven forbid they get underage girl. That has a negative impact on the military. You know, it makes them, you know, makes military members look bad, in my opinion. You know, especially when they hit you with, you know, like if you ask a guy, so where did you serve? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. That's above top secret and all this nonsense.
I ain't never met a veteran that wouldn't tell me like where they
Exactly.
served or none of that. I work at a place where a lot of it's a VA office in this government facility that I work at, and I talk to veterans all the time, you know, and they're quick to tell me their stories, you know, when they served, and you can feel and you can hear the prideness that these people have, and a lot of these people are wounded veterans.
Right.
They're not walking around like I am. They're walking around with canes. Some of them have lost limbs. So it is really disheartening that people will actually go around and portray that type of stuff. If you want to be in the military, just join.
Right. But speaking of joining, you mentioned that you ran the Extreme SIL experience, Don. Did that actually help young men to be able to actually get into the SIL program and successfully complete it?
Yes and no. You know, you're either, you know, you've got to be built to be a SEAL. Extremely healthy. You don't get sick much. You know, above average intelligence, gifted eyesight. You're really a physical specimen without me trying to toot any horn. Well, my point of it is it's not the average kid in your math class that's sitting next to you eating his own boogers that's going to get through buds. So a lot of the guys that would come to us, older guys, I put guys through in their 70s, down to kids young as 15. Not every one of those kids was ever going to get through the door of Navy SEAL training to keep things in perspective. The ones that would, it certainly helped because knowledge is power. You're hanging out with SEALs for 2 weeks. You know, you were eating, living, sleeping, breathing, training with us. So a lot of that had to rub off, certainly. And a lot of guys, I remember we've had a couple of them quit, and I just dissuade. I did not want any part of that. I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to leave my course feeling bad about yourself. But sometimes it would get a little bit too much for some of them. And about the third kid that quit, they never would tell me why. And I sat him down and I said, "You listen to me, little prick. You're not going anywhere until you tell me why you're quitting this course." And he said, "Honestly, Senior Chief, I don't want to hear any more of your stories."
No.
And he said, "I've got to go to Plan B." And he said, "I've got posters all over my wall. I've got books everywhere. I've got every SEAL movie that's out there. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because I know now I could never be one of you guys. And I've got to find something else to do. So my dream has been shattered, but of no fault of yours. I just can't be around you guys now." And so it helped in both ways. It gave, you know, guys would see an instructor of mine with most of his bicep gone from an AK round, and they would hear these war stories, and you know they'd realize this isn't a video game. You know, I get killed doing this, and I'm not. You know, they wouldn't share our type of personalities. You know, because SEALs have a dark sense of humor, personalities, our timeliness, the work ethic, things like that, and they would realize I'm glad I came because. You know, that's why the 80% of these guys quit in Bud's training. They all want to be a SEAL. Every one of them, from the deepest parts of their heart, want to be a SEAL right until SEAL training starts. And they go, "Oh my God, I never knew this was going to happen." And so it's you save them a trip, but we put a lot of guys through that have made it. We've got the senior officers at all the senior chiefs, you know, just senior guys in SEAL team now from the 10 years we've run it, from snipers to Dev Group guys, to everyone else that's gone through that course. So, and unfortunately, a SEAL was killed that went through our course. Decided to become a SEAL. So.
Our condolences go out to that SEAL's family for sure. So, you know, being a tactical guy, you know, obviously being covert elite forces, um, a lot of our past guests on the show has alluded to America possibly going into a civil war because, like, the racial divide, the class divide in this great nation of ours. Um, if something like that was to happen, do you feel that most SEALs would actually pick up arms to defend our elected government and the Constitution, or do you think they could possibly fall to the other side?
Confused. I've heard that I know what you're getting at, the gun debate and just government and things like that. I just don't ever see it happening. That this country would get so bad with the brilliant minds we actually have. You debate that in the White House, in government, into the police, Secret Service, FBI, CIA, congressmen, senators. I don't think there's any way in hell, after what happened during the actual Civil War, that it would happen again, that somebody would not pull some plugs somewhere to prevent that. But defending the Constitution, I thought I had read something, the orders or something given that you'll fight other Americans or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just too far out there to even really talk about. But I would think it'd be I don't even know how to answer that. It's just so far out of the realm of possibilities of guys just forming and cooing, some of our
Yes.
generals and admirals cooing the government and taking it over. This isn't El Salvador, man. This is the United States of America.
Yes, sir.
So, I don't think it's going to happen. So it's kind of hard to even think about.
Because I mean, recently I went to the CIA electronic library, and they have basically a manual called the oh my god, I can't remember the name of it, but basically it tells you how to go into a country and basically overthrow it from within. And it seems like a lot of those same things has happened to America. You have to bring the country to first division and then to crisis. And once crisis hits, that's when the UN will come in and all this nonsense, and basically the country's dissolved. Similar to like, what has happened in like Libya, or even if you really want to look at it, kind of what's going on in Venezuela right now with their currency collapsing, and their civilization kind of on the brink. And I'm not saying America's like that, at all, but we are having an issue with jobs. We are having an issue with people just struggling from day to day out here. I mean, I think the military will really help a lot of young men and women basically, get the discipline they need. One of our past guests, Judge Brown, talked about the effeminization of American men. And I'm sure you as a Navy SEAL have seen that. When you're out and about, you see these little, I don't want to be ignorant or nothing, but fuck it. This is the other morning show. I can say it. These little rimpless fags running around here. You gotta respect me. You gotta respect me. But when you're an alpha male, you're like, well, I believe in a certain way, and it's like they just totally shit on all that.
Remember, I got called in to see our executive officer at SEAL Team 2 one time. I was the platoon chief, and we had just got back from the trip. And he pulled me in his office, and he was visibly upset. And he goes, "Senior Chief, did you have guys standing up in the back of a 6x truck coming on base?" And I went, "Sir, somebody ratted us out. I mean, the guys are standing up in the back of a big, huge military vehicle, just catching some air. And just whatever. You're not supposed to do that. I guess you're supposed to sit down and whatever." But I said, "Sir, you know what this country needs? It needs a good, long, bloody war." And that was in '96. And by God, if we didn't get it. And then we started eating our young over it. These things went on way too long. We fired every decent admiral and general this country had during that time. We've ruined the careers of young enlisted guys, young officers, and I see where some of that is going. Unfortunately, what this country is going to need again is another wake-up call like 9/11, and I think that will come, unfortunately. But I look on the streets, you can go in any town, USA, and you see these young guys of fighting age on the streets, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday. They don't have any jobs.
Right.
And that was the beauty of me going in. You know, I don't know how many of my friends were joining Navy in handcuffs. You know, they would take them down. That was your choice. You're either going to do this or you're going to do that. But it doesn't take a lot of anything to fill a soda machine on a ship or carry a gun for this country. And I think that's part of the job problem is we're getting so selective now with who can and who cannot join the military.
Yes.
You know, in my time, we were right there at that 600 ship Navy. And there's so many jobs and opportunities. When I joined, most of the guys that I was with, most of the guys, I think were running from something. They were just trying to get a start, and 9 out of 10 of those guys, me included, made good.
Yes.
And that's why they make dishonorable discharges for the other one that just doesn't conform to anything. Well, I think if we are looking at that, Trump should look at lowering some of these ridiculous standards for guys that have ever smoked a joint in their life that can't get in the military now. Some little strange tattoo that they have or some criminal mischief that they did. We're putting these perfect little pizza cutter people through. And those are the only ones getting into the military when there's some really good guys out there that will do some really spectacular things for the country. And I heard, you know, one of you guys at the beginning of the show, before you had that technical problem, you said, I want to thank all the men and women who have served, but you left out children.
Oh, yes.
And this recently came up because I do so much research on the internet. For an underage veteran, he joined the Navy when he was 14 years old. My wife was taking care of him. He had cancer. World War II, Vietnam, and Korea. And I thought, this guy's got to be the youngest guy to ever join the Navy, 14. Lied about his age. Well, I was wrong. It was Calvin Graham. There's a website out there for underage veterans, and I take pride in going in at 17.
Yeah.
Calvin Graham lied about his age, joined the Navy in World War II when he was 12 years old, got a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart at the Battle of Guadalcanal. His sister ratted him out, and they threw him in the brig, took all his awards away, dishonorably discharged him. And President Jimmy Carter gave it all back to him in 1978. So,
Jimmy Carter did that?
yeah, of course he did. Ricky Schroeder played him in a movie called Too Young the Hero. So, you know, the military, for a lot of people, you know, through patriotism, through the need for a job, through wanting some education to better your life. And I always tell guys, you know, they ask young guys, they ask me about the military and what should I do? What should I do? And if you're just spinning your wheels in the mud and you're not going anywhere, 4 years, man, you get all kinds of benefits with serving 4 years in the military, and you network in the military.
Yes.
You are going into a profession of guys who are just like you. If you want to be in electronics, you're going in with the guys who have, you know, their glasses taped together, and you know, into the infantry or the Marines, you're going into a bunch of guys who just want to destroy everything in their path. And you network, and you develop, and you build relationships, and you mature, and you go on to some incredibly big things. I think it's a terrible thing what the country's doing now by restricting some of these great potential soldiers, sailors, and airmen.
Now, we had a guest on. He's a Marine Corps major, retired Marine Corps major, and he said that during the Gulf War, the first one, there were all kinds of Marines with swastikas tattoos on their persons. What is your opinion on, you know, a guy coming into the military with Nazi memorabilia on their person?
But I don't believe that story. And I have certainly seen some of that go on. I remember a guy on my ship getting a Confederate flag tattooed on him in Hong Kong and wanting Ku Klux Klan written underneath it. And the idiot Chinese guy misspelled it clam. Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan. When we rode that dude, you're going to get your guys in there, but when you've got these jailhouse tats, I mean, when you push yourself over, but I don't know of any Marines that really, I don't know who that major was, but I'm not buying into a lot of that story. If it wasn't very long. They wouldn't show that. The military, you know, a lot of people think a lot of things about it, and they have their racism and sexism in it. But I think a black, white, Chinese, whomever, when you're with those guys, and It's terribly like that in SEAL team. SEAL team got its start in 1943, the beaches of World War II, and we had never ever been segregated. Remember, the original frogmen in World War II were black men, and we never played that card. We don't care
So
who you.
there's been like black Navy SEALs that have been officers, or just SEAL men, or like the enlisted.
Oh man, we had them all. Some very very senior officers and some very good guys. I interviewed a lot. I served with them. It's
I
it's
mean, like,
there's just no, there's no, you just can't. And I think by virtue of a lot in the military, and especially what I did, I sailed 7 seas, man.
mm-hmm.
I've been Pakistan, Afghanistan, all over the Orient, all over the Middle East, all over Northern Europe and the Mediterranean, and I just like everybody. I didn't care about those guys, the Mujahideen we worked with and things like that, and the Pakistanis to the Japanese. I just like everybody. There's individual people that you don't like. It's
Right,
pretty hard for me to see some of this white supremacist bullshit going on uh, over a race.
right.
And it's not that way in SEAL team, and I don't think by and large it is that way in the military.
You, can I ask you one question? If you was talking to a guy in like a city, whether he's white, black, Chinese, Mexican, I don't care. I look at everyone as just human anyhow. But what would you tell a guy in a urban situation? What type of calisthenics can he do if he wants to become a Navy SEALs? How can he prepare himself for that? You know, obviously you don't have access to like the outdoors, eating grubs and shit. But how can he prepare himself in an urban environment?
Do it the way one of the analogies I use to young guys a lot is that Rocky movie where he beats the hell out of that big goofy Russian, Ivan Drago.
Oh yeah,
And when you see Drago, he's doping up, he's running around a climate controlled gym, he's being pampered, there's just everything about it, it's the steroids and all that other stuff. And Rocky's out there lifting rocks, splitting wood, and running through the snow. And that's exactly what I did before I went to SEAL training. I worked out 7 days a week, and you have to build up into that. But you got to be creative. You find flights of stairs in the auditorium, and you run up and down them. Wind sprints is perhaps the best. When guys are able to run numerous miles, 10, that's enough of that, because you're only going to start hurting yourself when you just keep doing that. You can do 30 minutes of wind sprints and get a 10-mile workout in. And I would duck walk all around my command. I was in the Navy before I became a SEAL. I would squat about everywhere I went. And you can do that going to classes. I would do max sets of push-ups and sit-ups watching TV. Every time a commercial was going on, I was doing max sets of push-ups and sit-ups. I did all kinds of strange things, and that's where SEALs become outside the box thinkers. You have to figure that out. So it doesn't matter if you're living in Brooklyn or anything like that. You can find the time and you can find a way to do it. And as I often say, I know an awful lot of SEALs that never, ever saw the Pacific Ocean until they went to BUD/S. They never saw an ocean, period. But
so
you can get it done.
so in order to be a SEAL, are you saying you got to be like a big ass bodybuilder, you know, big ass fucking lumberjack son of a bitch, or
No, you just got to be the man.
The average sight, and that's the way the Russians design their sniper scopes. You can do a little research on there. Their sniper scopes are specifically designed for the Dragonovs and stuff for a 5'10" man. The average size American male is a little under 6 feet tall. The average American male weighs $160 to $170. Those are the guys that BUD/S is designed for. And then you get big ogres like me that struggle in BUD/S because we're big guys. And then you have the smaller Smurf guys that struggle for that.
so
So it's
BUD/S is actually hard for you being big? I mean, I think because of your physical prowess, it'd be easy.
well, all the running and swimming. Big guys look like refrigerators running down the beach. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I see.
The
Yeah.
obstacles become harder. The upper body. There's a lot that goes into it, but you can do that. And you don't. What guys often do is, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to gain weight for BUD/S. I'm going to bulk up. You don't want to do that, man. Your body is naturally going to do. The harder you work it, it's going to conform to that. And cold water is really just cold water. It doesn't mean if you have an extra layer of fat on it. None of that's going to matter. You either suck it up or you don't. but you want to go in with what your body wants itself to be. You don't want to bulk up, lose weight. You don't want to hit the weights, because buds is all upper body strength and core strength. Your abs, your legs, your swimming. You know, you're not going to become a SEAL out there lifting a bunch of weights. The same thing I did with that Rocky movie. You can see him doing a bunch of that crazy stuff out there. You need the PT, the calisthenics, things like that. Because when you get SEAL training, you're never going to lift anything but your buddy, a log, and a boat. You're never going to see the inside of a gym. You're never going to PT in undercover. You're going to be out in the elements doing it, and you're doing calisthenics, running and swimming.
Wow. I mean, so that's kind of breaks the whole myth of, Van Diesel being all fucking ripped as hell and able to lift a mini fucking gun and all that stupid shit.
We had a lot of those guys. We have some absolute. I have friends, and I'm not one of them. I did very well being a big guy in buds. I didn't have any trouble physically in buds as big as I was. They called us sea cows. When you're over 200 pounds in buds, you're called a sea cow, and I was one of those guys. I didn't have any trouble physically, but we had guys who were just absolutely freaks. There's no explanation for them even being on this planet, the things they are capable of doing. And David Goggins is one of them. Don Mann is another one. There's these super freaks that are out there, and I served with a lot of them, and they just don't feel anything. And they're studs, man. They're rock star guys.
And just for the record, Jesse Ventura, because people asked me to reach out to him, but Jesse Ventura, the ex-governor, Governor Jesse Ventura, he is indeed a Navy SEALs.
Yes.
There you go, folks. I told you I would ask that question, and there it is.
I'll tell you the story and explain that to you if you want.
Yes, sir.
I interviewed Jesse's brother, Jim. Jim was in UDT before Jesse, Jan and Jim Janos. And Jesse was colorblind. You're not allowed to become a frogman being colorblind. His brother pulled some strings and snuck his ass through there. And they served together at the same UDT team, and they went through training a couple years apart. And Jesse was in an underwater demolition team. These are the guys that started UDT in World War II, the Naked Warrior guys. So back then, when you went through SEAL training up until 1983, from 61 to 83, when the commanding officer read your name at graduation, he'd say, Petty Officer Shipley, UDT 11, Petty Officer Brown, SEAL Team 1. You were going one place or another. It just wasn't a big deal. You were going to an underwater demolition team, or you were going to be assigned to a SEAL team. In 1983, the last underwater demolition team was decommissioned. SEAL Team 5 was commissioned. Now, everybody's a SEAL. It's all retroactive stuff anyhow. But Jesse was with an underwater demolition team, and he was in the Philippines on deployment. And there was a group of SEAL Team 1 guys that were doing a thankless mission in Vietnam of launching propaganda radios into the air on helium balloons and floating them into enemy territory. They only got one channel, and you had to listen to, all the rock and roll and Good Morning Vietnam. We're going to propagandize you guys as well, try to get you VC to come over to our side. And there was a bigger operation that was going on, and they wanted some UDT guys to take over that job for them. So they fired that off to the UDT guys in the Philippines, and Jesse said, sure, I'll do it. So he went over and he took the place of Navy SEAL, SEAL Team 1 in Vietnam, and he did it for at least 30 days. There wasn't a whole lot of bullet slinging or clandestine stuff going on, but he served there enough to get a Vietnam Service Medal, which is 30 days. And then when Jesse got out, there were no reserve underwater demolition teams. The only one there was SEAL Team 1 Reserves. So Jesse continued to qualify for more things, parachuting, all that stuff, and do his time at Reserve SEAL Team 1. So Jesse served as a SEAL at SEAL Team 1. And a lot of people, he was just UDT. And there's something about that when they say he was just UDT that just inflames me. Just UDT. These are the guys who got us our start. There's no such thing as just UDT.
Yes.
Second-class citizens. But Jesse did his time in Vietnam. with Team 1, served in the reserve unit with SEAL Team 1, and Jesse's just tired of hearing it from everybody. And so, yeah, I'll stand up for the guy. He drives me a little nutty sometimes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a short drive, sir.
He calls himself a SEAL.
Can I ask you another question? Now, this is the weird question. Do you believe in UFOs? Like life outside of Earth?
Yeah, I sure do. I don't know why anybody would have problems with that. And I really like some of the. Now, I'm not this big conspiracy theory nut or anything
Right.
like that, but I really like the series on the History Channel that really deals with Chariots of Fire. My brother-
Zachariah Stitchin's work.
The what?
Zachariah Stitchin, the Sumerians, Nerubu, ancient, basically beings genetically creating us to mine gold and all that.
You know, I don't know which way to slide, but my brother, the Marine, is he's not deeply religious. He's not a thumper that runs around all the time with that, but he believes in the Bible and he believes in angels. And you see that Chariots of the Gods when they talk about these people, the old depictions of them, you know, of people descending from the heavens down, they become gods.
Right.
And, you know, if it is some kind of alien thing coming down, that's what people, you know, they explain it pretty well in there. This is what people could perceive back then. They couldn't understand any of that, but they understand what birds are. They understand what the skies are.
Right.
And so when you look all over the world at the different, you know, the pyramids and countries, how's that possible? How could you guys do that? So I'm not going to even go there now, but yeah, I have my religious beliefs, but I do think I can't believe we're alone in this universe.
Well, the only reason I ask you that, as an elite warrior, a true Spartan, in the comic sense book of the word, or the video game, you know, as a tactical man, doesn't that basically, you know, how do we defend against that? How do we defend against a mothership showing up to Earth trying to invade us?
They're just going to kill us all and eat us, and that'll be the end of it. We don't stand a chance against those aliens. They're too technologically advanced. I don't know what to tell you. I do one of the arguments on there, because I just like watching that show. It's the History Channel, Ancient Aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't buy into all that, but that one dude with that tan and that big hair on his head, and they do make some sense about some of it, but the potential for that we would launch these nuclear strikes and just destroy what they want is pretty convincing little argument. You know, they're coming down, we're launching nukes, that we're destroying everything they're after anyhow. Dudes, you guys got me all. You're going to get me in trouble here. This Shipley, this alien UFO believer guy, you know.
No, we had John Lear.
I don't care who that alien is. You put a 7.62 round in, and you're going to drop him.
Yes, sir, Chief. Yes, sir. You know, I mean, the only I'm a sci-fi guy, Chief. I love the potential of humanity actually going to the stars, and we are the take me to your leader. We're the guys asking the alien, take us to your leader. I love that because I believe that is our true manifest destiny. The true manifest destiny for all humanity is for us to lead this mud ball we call Earth and to extend into the cosmos where we belong. We're not meant to be down here fighting each other, killing each other. We're meant to travel the stars.
You guys are a hoot of the party, man. I bet you're first on the call list. Get these guys at the party. You got to show up. Are you kidding me?
Yes, sir, Chief. Hey, before we go, I want to ask you could possibly ask your brothers, the Marine or the Ranger, if they would come on the show. You know, I want to get their opinion because they have served, and in my book, sir, they are up there with you. I give them the utmost respect. And if you can get your brothers to come on the show, and you too come back on the show later on this year, I'll be eternally grateful, sir.
You're not half as funny as I am, so you know you got your work cut out.
I can draw it out of them.
I would absolutely do it. My brother jumped into Panama. He's got an incredible story of that. No reserve, 500 feet. Just good luck, fellas. And the Marine, I had lost track of it. You know, I was the oldest, and my brother was in the Marines, but I was overseas, and I was driving through Waikiki, Hawaii, with a platoon of SEALs, and I yelled, "Stop the fucking van! Stop the van!" And I saw that red hair walking down the street. It was my brother in Waikiki in Hawaii.
Fucking awesome.
And we grabbed him. You know, I hadn't seen him in years. I just bumped into him in Hawaii. And we threw him in the van. And we used to do this stupid thing as SEALs. Now, your listeners will get a kick out of this, so this is what you do. Do we have time?
Yes, sir.
We got time.
You get a waitress at a bar, and you tell that waitress you want shots for everybody. And you want shots of water for everybody except that guy. You give that guy the tequila, and you give us all water. And you tip her well to do that. And that's what we would do as SEALs. So we'd get all these shots of water, and we'd start downing them when my brother had the shot of tequila. And then we'd get another one. And then we'd get another one. And then we'd get another one. You know, it's a terrible thing looking back at it. What I did was threw up in my lap that night on the way home in the van, but we used to pull that one all the time on guys.
Get them drunk as fuck. Hey, you can pull that one on me.
Oh, you puss, come on, have another one, puss, come on. You know, we're just drinking water. You know, that's just how nasty we are in the military sometimes. But, yeah. Okay, I'll ask.
Yes, sir. I mean, I cannot tell you straight from the bottom of my heart, seriously, Senior Chief, you know, what you have endured, and I'm talking about as far as your training, but what you have accomplished. You know, a lot of people talk shit. You know, we only do corporate wars, you know, going to these places for either their fucking heroin or their oil and all that bullshit. But you're a real patriot. You're a true G.I. Joe, sir. You're a true American fucking hero. I said American and not United. You know, it is United States of America, but I was raised, you know, a certain way. But to me, you are a true fucking Spartan American hero, sir.
Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm easily flattered, I'll tell you that. But and I appreciate those comments. But what I was is dumb enough to have been able to do it. Lucky enough that I had my health.
Yes, sir.
The stars aligned for me. And any SEAL will tell you that graduate SEAL training, they were lucky. There were a lot of guys that were not lucky. They got sick. They got hurt. They dropped. And we were just the guys that didn't get sick easy, didn't get hurt. Mama fed us a lot of corn and milk when we were growing up. But when you look at the mental toughness, now you're so tough and you did all that. You look at a little boy that's got cancer, a little girl that's got cancer, a guy that's bound to a wheelchair. Some of these terrible things that people go through, that's mental toughness. Me, I was just, the cold water didn't bother me. I was dumb enough to do it, and the stars aligned. So I'm a very lucky guy. That's what I am.
Hey, you're a very blessed guy, too. You got a beautiful wife, you know, great family. You're a good guy, dude. You're a fucking super good guy. I mean, I know you had some sketchiness when you were younger, but who the fuck hasn't, you know?
That's how you grow up.
Yes, sir. What you went through made you the man you are today. And I'm thankful for you being the man that you are today, Senior Chief.
Well, thanks, guys. Have a good one. I appreciate you inviting me on.
All right. Anytime you want to come on.
Yes, anytime. You're more than welcome, sir.
You got something you need to get out, any information or anything going on, you want to come on and get the message out, just let us know.
And I would definitely be calling you on the side note, you know, definitely call me whenever. I drink a lot. I'm good ear to talk to, but I'm sure you got plenty of buddies like that. But if you need another one, I'm your guy.
Next time, we'll talk all exclusively about phony SEALs I've busted. And you got to ask me about helping Jay Leno out a couple of times, and Jay Leno giving me a call.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you guys some clandestine, super secret ninja assassin phony SEAL stories and light your hair on fire.
Fucking right, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senior Chief Petty Officer Don Shipley. Thank you.
Navy SEAL. Elite warrior. A true American Spartan.
I'm going fishing.
All right, enjoy.
Good night, guys.
Good night, sir.
That was Don Shipley. And I hope you guys you can check him out.
He's awesome, dude.
He's on YouTube.
And we will have his brother on.
And
we will get
we'll have his brother on too. So just want to say thanks, Don Shipley, for coming on. And peace. Ventura. And we out.
So we got connections with Jesse Ventura. Like you guys been saying.
Like I've been saying, dude. And this
It's a
is
small fucking world, bro.
and we got